The league went through a lot of changes in the 60s, but not all of them showed up in NBA arenas. Basketball has always been a city game, but what started to happen on the playground in the 60s and especially the 70s wound up changing the way it's played. Growing up here in Brooklyn, this place is like a magnet. You start to watch and you just couldn't leave. It's like there's a whole new energy coming from the streets and going right on in the court. And though we didn't know it then, it was happening all over the country.
I come up out of the streets of Detroit. You know, we was all poor, and we had to find something to do. So we all loved the game of basketball.
Where I lived, we had guys who come from different neighborhoods and different communities and try to take your court from you. And you weren't going to let that happen.
Good defense, baby! Good defense! We're going to beat these guys!
We would get into a car and would go to Philly to go play against the top players there to find out who was good there. We would go up to Washington, D.C. and play against players up there. So there was like a little cult among ourselves that knew we were the top schoolyard players.
Once you had guys getting a reputation, a crowd started to show up. And when you have an audience, you have people starting to perform.
When you watch playground players, they come with their own unique style. You got shake and bake guys, you got guys who can dunk, you got guys that can fly. People come to see action.
The kids and the people watching also looking for something magical to happen in town. They want to see you do something that they can go back home and say, man, did you see so-and-so today? Did you see that move he made?
And sooner or later, that magic started to work its way up to the NBA.
The playground was a huge influence on everything the NBA has become. You had guys who would bring stuff that they'd learned in the playgrounds, and it would work in the NBA because you had seen it before. Almost jazz-like movements that came in the 70s to the NBA.
But the playground really started to have its influence because of the summer leagues. There was a Rutgers tournament in New York, the Baker League in Philadelphia, and the Martin Luther King League in Chicago. They had the best local talent around. And pretty soon, the NBA players got curious. So now you had the playground legends on the same court with the pros, and you could just see the game changing right in front of you.
We used to fly in during the summer months, and we would play all summer in New York at the Rutgers because we wanted to play outside. And people didn't think about needs. You didn't think about, well, you know, what about just playing ball for nothing? What are you doing this for? I mean, this was like a pleasure.
Connie Hawkins, who was then a professional of long-standing, would show up at halftime and play in one of these games, and people would be hanging up in the trees, literally, or they would be crowding around these chain link fences, and it was just some great social happening was taking place.
Some of the pro players took on whole new personas. Earl Monroe was a pearl in the NBA, but in the Baker League, he had an alter ego.
That team's gonna make you disappear!
In Philly, I was known somewhat as Black Jesus, they used to call me.
Screamed Black Jesus, and the waters parted, and everybody came through, and he would come in and score 60 points, and then go back through this little crowd and go back into the red.
I'd walk in, and I'd get the accolades of the whole crowd and take off my warm-ups, and all of a sudden there I was, and I totally played to the crowd as a guy in Philadelphia.
As you started to get more of a mix, summer leagues and the guys in the NBA, that was a perfect league for people to really develop really flamboyant moves. And those are the kind of things that you just hadn't seen in the NBA.
It took a while for playground ball to have its full effect on the pros, but when it did, it changed everything. And the guys who started it all in places like this became legends.
For the NBA,